Good afternoon. My name is Debbie LeBlanc. I am the urban manager of the Southeast region and the volunteer coordinator for Urban Rural Ride. We're pleased to be interviewing Laurie Stewart, and we are going to talk about funding that Urban Rural Rides has received from the Regional Service Commission. The Resiliency Committee has provided us funding for Urban Rural Rides clients that have absolutely no transportation with food banks in Westmoreland, Albert County. The Salisbury Helping Hands Food Bank is one of those organizations, and we're going to have a conversation about how his food bank is helping clients in his area. I'm going to let Laurie introduce himself as far as his title, and as I said, he's with the Salisbury Helping Hands Food Bank, and then we're going to have a little conversation and find out more about what the food bank actually does. So, Laurie, maybe if you can tell me your name and title and
Yes,
how long you've been here, that sort of thing, that would be awesome.
yes, as you said, my name's Laurie Stewart. I'm the president of the food bank here at Helping Hands. I've been with the food bank probably 5 or 6 years now, and president starting my second year, and it's a 2-year term as president.
Well, as I said, we're going to talk a little bit about what your food bank does and how you help your
Sure.
clients. And first question is, can you maybe tell me about the Helping Hands Food Bank? How long it's been in service, your area service, maybe your number of clients, that sort of thing. If you could give me a little bit of that information.
The food bank started actually in 2014 in another location on the Fredericton Road, and it moved to Douglas Street where we are now in 2015. The area of service is at Salisbury, wherever the school buses run, that's our service area. We go outside, only go outside our area in certain circumstances, emergencies, or that type of thing. Roughly around 149 families that we service and food bank members. And Christmas time, of course, we may end up with more than that, of course. Um, we're open Tuesdays and Wednesdays unless storm days. If schools are closed, we're closed on Tuesday and Wednesday. And if that happens, we open the next day, Thursday and Friday.
Fantastic.
The days
And
are
the number of clients, like you said, 150, that's 150 families. So it's certainly more
That's right.
clients than
That's
that
more
that you
clients than
serve.
that.
Maybe you can give me an example of the transportation request you do fill. I believe it's mostly people coming to the food bank, or it's also delivering a food box.
That's
Maybe
right.
if you can tell me what you're using as far as transportation for your service.
Well, our clients phone in on Friday. They phone in for their orders. We have a sheet here that our people are on the phone on Friday taking the orders from our clients, and our clients, if they don't have a way to pick up their groceries, they can use rural rides. So they specify if they need rural rides, and we mark it down and we call rural rides and let them know that we have an order for them to pick up on a certain day and a certain time.
Fantastic.
So then that's all arranged.
Perfect. Maybe you can, since you mentioned urban rural rides, maybe you can tell me an interesting story about an individual or something that you'd kind of like to share about your service, something that was kind of a success maybe for one of them, or just something interesting you'd like to share with us.
Well, I think they're all success stories because, if people don't have any way to get, it's sad enough for people that can't go to the grocery store, can't get out and get anything. What are they supposed to do? So I think the service of rural rides is especially good just to have that service. I mean, what are people supposed to do? We're in hard times. It doesn't matter. We're not. A lot of people think you're feeding just people that are on social services. In today's times, we're feeding working poor. We're feeding, seniors. Any senior that loses their partner today and are living in their own home, they're not going to be able to make it much longer. They're going to have to come and see us, or they're going to have to do something because they can't. There's not enough money left
No,
at the end of the month,
and that's a very good point
and
that you
maybe they
said.
can't drive.
No,
When my mother lost my father, He didn't have a driver's license. And a lot of the senior people maybe don't drive.
No,
So it's a great service for them to be able to call and have it delivered to them.
and the province tries to keep people, older adults, in their home as long as they can,
That's right.
and transportation being such a barrier,
That's right.
so we're helping in that way too, that they
That's
could
right.
stay there. Either, like you said, they've lost a spouse or a partner, or,
Exactly.
they could have a health issue
They
and they
maybe
really
they
need that
I mean,
transportation.
maybe they've had an operation and
Totally.
can't get out. That's a great service to have.
So has coordinating the food bank project, which is where, as I said, we receive our funding from the Regional Service Commission, the Resiliency Committee, for a food bank project for exactly what you're talking about, clients that don't have transportation or the ones that need a food box delivered. Do you find that, I know we've just kind of answered that question, but it's changed the lives of those people being able to
Yes,
access the
sure
food
does.
bank?
I think there should be more advertising out there, free advertising for you people to get the word out that that's available to the people.
That's awesome, and that's exactly what we're trying to do today, Laurie, is to promote the service of the
Yeah,
funding we receive so others can actually use the service and know it's available.
yeah.
So you've been partnering with Urban Rural Rides for quite a while, especially even Rural Rides before Urban Rural Rides. So what do you, with our partnership, how do you see that that's helped the food bank? How do you see it's helped the clients? I know, of course, it's providing transportation, but do you partner with other organizations as well? Like, is that something that is part of your delivery service?
We don't deliver any other way.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the only service we can provide because we can't, we have a hard job to get enough volunteers to help us pack the orders and get them out because people, our volunteers are older people,
Hmm.
and the young people don't have time to volunteer, obviously. I
Hmm.
mean, and you can talk to any, um, it doesn't matter if it's a Lions Club or any organization, volunteers are hard to get.
Totally,
And,
totally. Me being the volunteer
so
coordinator, even drivers, it's difficult.
that's
But I
right.
find that, since COVID, people are stepping up and starting to
Yeah.
volunteer more. And just on that note, Lori, you said your organization, it's fully volunteer based,
All
is it not?
volunteer. We have no paid staff.
Okay,
Only in the summertime we do have a student that comes on a grant,
that's awesome.
and that's the only paid employee we have. And we're very lucky to have the people we have. We're always looking for new volunteers.
Fantastic. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us
No, I just
today?
want to thank you for your service and hope it continues.
Well, we certainly hope so, and we're glad that we're able to help your clients
Yeah,
that need transportation. I'd like
yeah,
to thank you for the opportunity for us knowing a little bit more about
yeah,
Salisbury Helping Hands today. I want you to keep up the great work by serving your clients in the Salisbury area as well as the surrounding area.
yeah.
And thank you for taking the time to meet with Urban Rural
No
Rights
problem.
today.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Awesome.